So that's what it looks like.
Well, hello YouTube, Kingpin of Cinema.
With the QB999, and boy do I feel dirty.
Not because of what we were looking at, but for what we had just seen.
There's been a lot of these game movies. It started out with Dante's Inferno, then they did Halo Legends, where you have a series of short videos done by many different directors. And so we were watching the newest rendition of one of these for Dead Space.
And this is a prequel to Dead Space 2 and a sequel to Dead Space 1. So it's kind of in that little gray area of in between the two.
It's basically how... Well, I'm not really sure what it's supposed to be showing us. It kind of shows how another outbreak... How the outbreak starts. Or another one, at least.
It's another outbreak. I'm going to attempt to explain this mess.
Well, first off, the first set of videos you see is all done in CGI, but it's very half-done CGI.
It looks horrendous. I mean, have you seen that, like, animated CG Hot Wheels cartoon show on Cartoon Network? It's like that level of quality.
It's kind of like they took what the finished product was supposed to be and took away any form of texture. That's basically what they did.
It looks horrendous. I'm not saying that, of course it's not Pixar or fucking DreamWorks,
But this isn't Pixar.
I'm not comparing it to that, like, that kind of stuff.
We're comparing it more to those, like, Geico commercials where they say, we made this commercial in 15 minutes.
It just looks so bad. They should have just got one of these studios that they contracted to make, that segment of the film to do these, the main story segment of this. Because basically how it goes, okay, people go onto a new ship that had the outbreak on. They find 4 survivors, and then they interview each survivor. And basically, when that interviewee tells his story, then it's a new segment of animation.
So in total, there's 5. There's the CGI, and then there's one for each survivor's story. You'd think, like, each one would be, like... I don't really think each animated segment was really all that unique, No. They're all kind of samey, I thought. Really, the best one of these movies so far has been Dante's Inferno, by far.
By far, easily.
The animation and story was pretty good. This one, though, the animation, doesn't even compare. Not even close.
Yeah, like I said, it all looks samey. It doesn't feel like I'm looking at a different studio's animation style. It all looks the same. And really, the animation really doesn't enhance the story at all. The story is so convoluted, I don't know how it could enhance it.
This movie is also kind of introducing you to Strauss from the second game.
Because we needed that.
And how he kind of became, how he became the way he is in the second game.
Why he's all crazy and talking about his dead family. I don't know why we needed a movie to show that story. They needed more money, obviously.
Yeah, I'm very confused, because according to the first movie, when the outbreak first starts on the Ishimura, the woman, she's being chased by everything, everyone else is dead and gone. She goes and hides by the marker, and for whatever reason, the necromorphs can't go near it. So you think, okay, then the markers are really a seal made for the necromorphs. But then from the games, and especially this movie, it's showing you, okay, the marker is causing this.
And if you're gonna like watch this hoping to get any answers on what the marker is, what the unitologists want, what the shadow government wants, you're not gonna get any answers. I'm still confused on what these games, what the story is. I'm still confused. What is the marker?
Let's count. There's been been 4 games, 2 movies now. So that's 6 renditions of a story. That's all telling the same thing and nothing.
And I think there's a novel adaptation of the first game. I'm sure it's just as fucking confusing as the rest of this mess. This is easily the most convoluted story in video game history that I can possibly think of.
Now, Watching some of these scenes, though, is funny as hell.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Yeah, this is a pile of garbage. That's, you know... we can end the review right there. This movie's a pile of garbage. Don't buy it. But we had a lot of fun watching it because it was fucking hilarious.
You got people tasering people. You got a guy with a mechanical arm that has it taken away.
So we call him Stubbs. Stubby. But really, rent this movie and watch it with friends and make fun of it because there's no other way you can get any possible enjoyment out of it. You know...
There was like maybe one animation style that I really thought really fit in well with it.
I didn't. Boy. But, go on.
There was one that I thought kind of fit well into it, and that was like the third one that they showed. You know, I mean, they looked more human and everything. I mean, like, the last one was like just the most ridiculous. It's the kind where they're all like chiseled faces, and even Strauss, who's a scientist, is like all rippling and muscular.
He has a full-on six-pack.
He's the fucking situation.
Yeah, it's like everyone's like the most like extravagated mess of looking humans ever. I mean, even like the big black guy is humongous. He's fucking Balrog. He's huge. No human is that buff. No way. And of course, all the women are well endowed in the future.
Well, you gotta be.
You gotta be.
Now, also with the necromorphs, first off, the one necromorph I actually recognized was like the little crawly one with the spines that comes out of its back.
The baby, yeah.
All the other ones were like, I've never seen even before. They didn't even use the same necromorph design for any of them. And
also another thing you were complaining about that I kind of agree with, sometimes in these movie adaptions, they have weapons that are better than the ones you get in the games.
I mean, you get a
plasma sword.
A plasma chainsaw, you get like plasma gun, like actual melee weapons that you would really want to use, because, you know, guns are kind of useless against these creatures. You want something you can physically cut them up with.
Yeah, yeah.
Why can't I find any of that shit in my game?
There are just too many ridiculous moments to go over all of them. But I think one of my favorite is, okay, so there's a hull breach in the ship, so decompression, and everybody's just kind of like holding on, you know, not even for like dear life, like, the ship's decompressing! We have to move!
Oh yeah, and when they decide, okay, we need to get into the next area and close off the door, they like walk into the next area like it's no big deal. They just kind of like stroll into the room, even though all that decompression is still going through. It's no big deal, we're just gonna stroll.
Yeah.
Haters gonna be hating.
And the captain is like, the door won't close. Don't worry, I'll sacrifice myself by closing the door on the outside. He closes in the door, and the decompression somehow stops, long enough for him to pull out a hand grenade and blow up the necromorphs, who somehow didn't get decompressed. Oh, and that explosion is big enough to blow a new hole in the ship, but not the door that he closed. I don't get it. This movie makes no sense.
You already saw our Dead Space 2 review. We're waiting for them to just wrap this story up. Please.
I got a few other funny comments. So when they're doing the interview on the survivors, for whatever reason, to give them clarity, they show them a hallucination of like their worst fear.
Well, not clarity. They're persuading them.
Oh, whatever.
And also, you like, they're the scientists that are doing the interrogation are talking to their leader, and it's like, the leader is right up to the camera, so far up, all you see is his eyes. It's like, I'm surprised the scientists go, Sir, you're not supposed to be up to the microphone that close. I'm not? This is all new to me. I just recently gone to Facebook, too.
So they're showing them hallucinations of, like, their worst fears. Okay, first off, how would they know that? Is that, like, on the form that you had to, like, fill out before you went on the mission? By the way, what is your worst fear? Fucking clowns. Hate them.
Yeah, the first guy, his fear is being...
Fire.
Well, not just fire, just burning alive.
Burning alive, yeah.
The second person is afraid of spiders. The third person is Strauss is claustrophobia. You don't even know what the girl's is. You just hear her going, ah, ah, ah. So, rape?
I'm guessing clowns?
Rape by clown.
No! Get the balloons away from me! No! Or maybe it's gauze. Maybe it's like fluffy little gauze. Oh, they're so soft! No! Get them off!
Still, they don't even bother showing you what she's afraid of.
Like, it's such a stupid plot point, and it goes nowhere. It's for no reason at all.
It's just to show that they can do it.
Oh, okay, and this is another funny part. The first person they interview is the big black guy. So he when they uncuff him, they're gonna kill him. We know that. He starts beating up the guards, gets a gun, and shoots a couple of them, and he's seeing visions of like his dead daughter or whatever. The vision leads him to an airlock. So he opens the first door, and okay, you got the second door that leads to space. You
got all the soldiers running at him, going, what's he doing? He's going to open up the airlock. So what do?
They keep running at him.
They keep running at him. Instead of, stopping, turning away, running for cover, or getting away from the eventually open airlock.
From the vacuum of space.
All you see is him open up the door, and then an outside view of all these people just floating out.
And here's another good question. Does, the future not believe in OSHA standards? How come when you open the first door, it doesn't close for when you open up the second door to space? It's a fair question.
No, see, it did. It's just that you didn't see all the soldiers run and have the door closed behind them, and then they're kind of waiting around for the equalizing pressure, and then the outside door opens.
They must have skipped that part in editing. I don't know. I like my theory of just they don't have OSHA standards in the future.
So anyway, I'd say rent it. I have a hard time saying that too, though, but rent it with friends, make fun of it. It adds nothing to the story. Animation is subpar at best.
It's horrible. I mean, I hated all the animation sequences.
They've done 3 of these kind of movies with all the different art directors all coming in. And so far
more than that, but I mean, off the top of our heads that we can think of.
And so far, 1 of 3 has been good. Not a good batting average there.
Honestly, the first Dead Space animated film was much better. I mean, much better.
Even though it kind of gave you a part of the story that doesn't make sense anymore.
Oh, don't get me wrong. It was ultimately pointless to the ultimate conclusion of the first game. But I mean, hey, at least that was fun to look at. I mean, it was nice and gory. You had cool weapons and a great animation style.
One other plot point I wanted to point out: Strauss keeps going "Oh, these markers are so beyond our comprehension. We don't know what they're made of. We don't know how they were made, where they came from." Then I wonder, how the hell did they make one in the second game?
Yeah.
If they're so far beyond our comprehension. and obviously, since the necromorphs converged on it and it went off, obviously it worked. Is it just a big piece of stone with all that writing on it, or something more?
I don't know. I am so confused.
Like I said, I'm just waiting for this story to move along.
To finally give a conclusion, some answer, some clarity. I mean, that's all I need. So I know, but they're not doing that, because I don't even think the writers know where they're taking this. At this point in time, I think the marker is made by fucking Cthulhu. The old ones left behind when they left to another dimension. Or it could be Xenu. I don't know.
I'm going with Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. It's going to summon him to the world.
Don't think of anything. Oh, crap.
Anyway, so skip it, rent it if you must.
And, on this one, if you guys didn't like it,
then you're just retarded.
Yeah, you're just stupid. So, thanks for watching. Good night, everyone.